And good morning, everybody, and let's hope everything is working fine. This is a brand new computer, and so there's a lot of changes and things. Didn't have my normal intro, had a slightly different outro, although I hope you like the new song that David made for us, The Tower of Love. Anyhow, it is Happy Tax Day, but my taxes are done. I'm so excited. I had to pay money, but they're done. I was very, very thrilled. So anyway, welcome to the Dice Tower Q&A, where we answer questions. And I answer questions, ask some questions. We'll talk about them. We'll talk back and forth. And we'll get things started here. Just a few folks here. It makes me wonder if this stream was pushed. Well, hello. Yeah, the brand new computers are both wonderful and a pain in the neck. They're wonderful because, let me see if I can, there we go. I'll put that here in the middle and the bottom and drag this over. They're both wonderful because, it's new, powerful, cool. But moving everything over can be a real pain in the neck, and you always miss something. And in this case, I realized I missed all the stuff that we had for our streaming setup. I don't stream a ton from this computer, so it's not as critical, but I stream some, mostly the Q&As. Alrighty, so finished my taxes 20 minutes ago. That is the definition of the last minute, although not really. So many people get extensions and everything too. Did not play a ton of games this weekend. I'm trying to remember if I played anything. It was a very busy weekend. I was helping my wife run a yard sale. I got a little sunburned running a yard sale. So that took up a good chunk of Saturday, and I was doing that right on top of having done the marathon on Thursday and Friday. And then Sunday there was a funeral for someone in our church, a very kindly old gentleman, 93. So just was a very, very busy weekend, and I'm very glad to be less busy on Monday. Not really. I got a lot of things going on. If you're watching this, just as a reminder, next week, not this week, but next week, we're starting our top 100 games of all time from the rest of everybody. Me, Z, and Mike already did ours, so everybody else is going to be doing theirs. And I need some countdown numbers. So if you just want to record a quick clip of you doing it, email me at tom@dicetower.com, and I can get you. I'll give you a number, and then you record that number. It can be funny, serious, whatever, and and then we'll play those. That's starting next week. I should have brought in Jimmy. He would have done it for you in 3 minutes. I don't know what that means, actually. Done what? What was my favorite part of the marathon? Well, it's easy with all respect to all the different games, and I had a lot of fun playing them all. But that time when I come in at 2 in the morning is always my favorite time. It's so funny because we played 7th Citadel for 5 hours and 40 minutes, and it didn't seem that long at all. When you play, it's a weird feeling. So whenever I play a long game, if we play a long game like, we're going to do a weekend of Twilight Imperium, you play, but you are constantly watching the clock. You just are. Like, ooh, wow, this game's going long, it's time. But when you start at 2 in the morning, you don't care. There's like nothing. It was fun. We had a great time. We had some fun back and forth. It was very enjoyable. So that was my favorite part. Chrissy says, is the Jack Vasel Memorial Fund auction happening this year? Yes, it is probably launching about a week from now. I don't know the exact date on that. I just added my item to the auction, getting it ready. So I know it's coming soon. A Jack Vasel Memorial Fund, if you don't know what we're talking about, Jack Vasel Memorial Fund is a charity that helps gamers in their time of need. Let's say a gamer has something massively, happen in your life, your house burned down, unexpected medical bills, whatever it might be, something that's just out of the realm of human control, and you need help, then you can ask the Jack Vasel Memorial Fund, and you can find more about this at jackvasel.org. But we get our money, the money that we hand out there, we get each year during these auctions, and it's a way to raise awareness about the fund, and people put up items, and then the money goes straight to the Jack Vasel Fund. It's fantastic. If you're looking to help out with that in any way, we'd love to have that happen. Everything is not working fine anymore? I don't know what that means. How does board game development compare to other media, video games, movies? The video game takes years of development, where Reiner Knizia puts out what seems like 36 games a year. Well, I do know that a lot of board games are in development for a long time. Reiner Knizia might put out 36 games, but he may have been working on each of those games for 5 years. Who knows? I don't know. So development's different for everybody. Some games come together pretty quickly, some don't. Then there's the production. There's just a lot. How does it compare? The main difference, I think, is that board games don't have release dates. It's, I think, a problem in the industry that games just come out. Video games, they'll announce the release date. Like I know when the Elden Ring expansion's coming out, they announced it. Now, don't get me, I'm not like saying video games are great. They release buggy and, patching and stuff like that. Movies are the same way. They announce this coming this fall, and then they'll give you an exact date of when it's coming out. Board games aren't as good on that. There's a lot that come out at Gen Con and Essen, but other than that, very rare do they announce dates. Of course, there's logistics and stuff like that, too. I really enjoyed seeing you all play the new Space-Based Genesis expansion. It's my pleasure. I didn't realize how much hype was in that expansion. That video got quite a few views over the weekend. Any chance of coming back to Diversio offline with some more folks from the Dice Tower crew? It's possible. They didn't invite me this year. I don't know that I would have been able to come anyway because I don't want to keep doing the same thing necessarily every year. But yeah, I had a great time when I was there. Are you hoping to bring back marbles as a regular series anytime? If not, are you hoping to sprinkle them into spectaculars? I have an idea with marbles, but you'll have to wait and see on that. Do you follow a process when opening and learning a new game? Yes, I read the rule book. I like setting it up and seeing how it works. I have a hard time just reading a rule book. I know some people are like, oh, I take rule books with me on planes and read them and stuff. I like to see the pieces of the game and understand when you say, put this here, I put that there. Oh, okay, that makes sense to me. How's the new studio working out so far? The reviews coming out of there sound great audio-wise. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad people think so. We have a new thing we're doing, although that won't start until July to help our audio a lot, I think. In 10 years, how many games will require an app? How would I possibly know that? I know that I do find it kind of insane that people worry so much about this. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I think 1 in 100 games that I look at requires an app. The rest don't. So why do people care about that? If the one that comes out with an app isn't your jam, and I think game and app integration is really cool, but the other 99 still exist. It's not like there's this suddenly huge amount of games that need apps. There's some high-profile ones, but it's not that big of a deal. Does Dice ever come to Michigan or Ohio? Well, no, but we go to Indiana, so there's that. Do you think per capita you give a higher rating for bigger games or smaller games? I don't know, actually. I'll tell you, my interest level is definitely on a bigger game. You have a bigger game, a smaller game, the bigger one looks more interesting. But I also play more smaller games because they're easier to get played. Smaller games maybe there's more bad ones, so therefore, and I play more of them, but I have no idea. Are there any Dice Tower Atlanta events? Well, yes, there is one. The Monday before Gen Con, we come up and we have a game day at Level Up as we drive up to Indianapolis. I hate reading rule books, but you enjoy doing it. There's a difference there. I don't love reading rule books. I love learning games. And I do that despite the rule book. What games are some of the best examples of both great gameplay and a great rule book? That's tricky. I would have to think longer. I apologize. I know good rule books when I see them, but I kind of forget about them as time goes by. Even the bad rule books I kind of forget about because I remember how great the games are. The rule book is something I deal with when I'm first learning the game. After that, not as much. I would love if there was an app for Earth that would help tally scores faster. Yeah, maybe. Have you had any good cheese recently? Well, I mean, yes, but I mean, I'm always hesitant to talk about cheese because I like cheese, but then the cheese snobs, yeah, well, that's not cheese. But recently I made mac and cheese for Easter, and I used some. I always get my cheese from Boar's Head from Publix here in Florida. Boar's Head is just amazing. So I got some smoked Gouda cheese, and I used that for the mac and cheese, and I used the 5-pepper Colby Jack cheese. So what I did is the smoked Gouda cheese I mixed into the way I make mac and cheese is I always use bow ties first of all because bow ties are amazing, and so I make a cheese sauce, and so that I use the smoked Gouda, a ton of cheese sauce, and this time I tried something. I put sour cream in it rather than milk. There's a little milk in it, but a lot of sour cream. Made that sauce. I cooked the bow ties, and then I mix that with the hot stuff. Stir that all together, and then I layer it in a baking pan. And on top of that baking pan, I then put the 3-pepper Jack cheese on it. Then I put more mac and cheese on top of that, and then put another layer on top of that. I then refrigerate it. Then the next day, I bake it, and you broil it at the very end so that cheese on the top becomes just nice and crispy and so good. And again, maybe it's not everyone's jam, but I really enjoy it. How do you feel about the upcoming Kemet expansion? You know, I haven't done a ton of looking into that, so I don't actually know what the name of the new expansion is. Let me see if I can find it here on Board Game Geek. There's an expansion for Kemet. Let's see if I can find the expansions. Kemet. I'll search here. Kemet. Kemet Rise of the Gods. There we go. All right. Various new features. It has modules. A 6-player mode, don't care. Solo mode, don't care. 2 new tile colors, amber and amethyst. Well, that's interesting. With various other modules, content and quality of life components to be announced soon. Hopefully a new map. That's not a lot of information about it. I see there Ra and the crocodile god. Amethyst tiles are coming. Amber tiles. Okay, well, I mean, I would definitely give them a whirl and try them out. So, all right. Have you been enjoying X-Men 97? I only watched the first episode. I haven't really watched more than that. I watched the Fallout show, and my kids and I caught up on Delicious and Dungeon. Our whole family is just giddy over that show. We love it as a group. The Delicious and Dungeon, everybody likes it. Well, my wife kind of rolls her eyes at it, but the rest of us enjoy it. It's shot up into my top 10 favorite anime. I've just been having a great time with that. So I just haven't watched X-Men 97. Did I play the Clue VCR detective game back in the 80s? I saw it being played. I'm not sure I played it. If so, is there a modern game that would do something similar? There probably is. I don't know enough though. I love the reprinted Jamaica rulebook with its tab system. I didn't know that was a thing. What are your favorite playing card materials? Like linen feel. Well, I'm done. That's it. I like linen cards. Easy. Reaction to the Margot Robbie Monopoly movie coming out. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any strong feelings on it one way or the other. I mean, I haven't seen it, so maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I'm not, like, excited about it, but I'm also not, like, repulsed by it. I go, huh. Tom, do you play blank on BGA? I don't play anything on BGA, so no. I don't have any secrets to doing it. Tom, you're making me hungry. I'm making you hungry. I'm making me hungry. How do you feel about lamb? I don't eat lamb very often, actually, mostly just because it's just not a common dish that we eat, right? I don't even know I'm assuming you can buy it at the grocery store. The most of the time when I eat lamb, it's at a restaurant, so it's specially made, and I always enjoy it there. I almost always get it at a Brazilian steakhouse if they bring it by, but I once had it with that mint julep jelly or whatever, and that stuff is amazing. It's a weird but great combo, so I enjoy that. It seems like you played some games you really enjoyed this year. Do you feel the same, or is it just me? I'm assuming you're talking about the 30-hour marathon. That was by design. We went in and I wanted to play, like the week before we had played so many games that were new to us. And new to us is fine. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But the marathon is like, let's just play games we know and like. And man, I had a great time. Played some of my favorites. We played Space Base. I played Nexus Ops, Seventh Citadel. It was just fun all around. I had a good time. Of course, having fun people to play with definitely helps. A Dice Tower cookbook coming. No, I mean, it's not. All my recipes are recipes I found online, and then I just mess with them a bit. And then I go read other recipes because I want to see what else I can do. And then once I know how to do something, I kind of keep doing it that way. Good morning. Sorry for yawning, everyone. How did you come up with the ratcheting term, and what games do you think implement it well? Well, someone else mentioned it, not me, and I just latched onto it. I like the idea of a ratchet where you can go as far forward, but you can never go backwards. And lots of games do it well. Tokaido is probably the most well-known, but it's just a mechanism I enjoy in games much. I'd like to play Phase 10 with you. You might not, because I don't like the game at all. Do you have a good way to track which villains and which heroes you've used in Marvel Unite, as well as wins and losses? Well, when I was playing it, and I was going through all the different things, and I'll do it again when the new stuff comes out, I just wrote it down, because I was also writing down my thoughts on each thing as I played them. Being a math teacher, do you keep up with books and media about math? Not particularly. I like reading about math, but new kind of science. I don't know. I don't read books about math very much. Have you ever done a top 10 Egyptian themed games? I don't think I have. Have I seen Frieren? Frieren. F-R-I-E-R-E-N. F-R-I-E-R-E-N. Beyond Journey's End. So, I don't know anything about it. It's a Japanese manga series. There's always very, very long. I'm kind of picky. I don't like watching a ton of this stuff. But the anime got critical acclaim. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. What's my top anime of all time? I don't really have one. I mean, right now, my favorite two anime shows would be One Punch Man and then Delicious in Dungeon so far. That's how much I enjoy it. And then I like everything from Studio, well, not everything, but I like most everything from Studio Ghibli. I like all that stuff. I don't watch a ton of other anime. Like, my daughter loves One Piece, and I like the live action show, but I didn't like the anime that much. What are your thoughts on the recent surge of Kickstarter trading card games such as Altered and Grand Archive? Well, surge is a strong word, but there is a lot of them coming out, right? And collectible card games come out all the time, and they fail and fall. Lorcana obviously came out to insane hype. Star Wars is also doing really well, and now we got Altered and Grand Archive. It's interesting. It obviously, I know whenever a collectible card game is mentioned, people kind of sniff at it and go, pss, pss, I'm not playing any game that teaches kids to gamble and gambling and blah, blah, blah. But you don't have to do that, right? That's just something that people do. If the starter decks are fun, I might buy some booster packs and play them. I've been buying my son Pokemon cards, and there's a fun opening a pack and finding the rare card. We don't have to have everything. They got to catch them all is not quite true. And that's a fun experience. So, yeah, you can get caught up in it. Yeah, you can play too much and buy too much and everything. But I think it's cool. My lamb comes in kebabs. That's true. A lamb kebab is good. Lamb on a Dice Tower cruise last year was really good. Well, there we go. Are you putting out a review of Skyrise? I did not get Skyrise, which is making me think. Let me see. So Skyrise Kickstarter. This is from Roxley Games. It looks really cool. Let me look through my email to see if I know anything about it. Skyrise. Well, I did fill out the confirmation. Skyrise got sent to my old address. That's why I'm not getting it. Oh, well. The lady at my old address is just throwing my mail away. She said that. So there's not a lot we can do about that. Oh, well. Guess you all won't. That is a bummer. I would have liked to have reviewed the game, but okay. Now, what do you do? All right. So, anyhow, how do you think you've changed as a board game reviewer across the years? Do you see yourself more cynical or more enthusiastic whenever you review new games? You, by very nature, are going to get more cynical to some degree. There's no way to stop that. I think I still have enthusiasm. I love to see new games. I love to open up a new game and play games. Some things I'm less excited about. I don't care one whit about punching games out anymore. But I still like seeing new ideas. I am giddy when I play a game and it's really fun to play. Like last week, I was playing a game that I did not expect to be good, and it was, and I just loved that. It was just so much fun. Yeah, but I mean, also, if I see a game that I've seen 30 times before, I'm going to go, yeah, all right, nah. I need to catch up on the marathon. Well, we are going to be cutting up all the games in the marathon and putting them out as separate videos this week. How do you plan around the office to play new games? Do you put sticky notes on a game and say, I'm going to play this Thursday, 10 a.m., and then the others can write their name? No. That's so specific. We just play games. I don't know how to explain it. What's my favorite Dice Tower event? Well, I like them all. I would say probably my favorite personally would be the Dice Tower Retreat. That's a lot of fun. But Dice Tower Cruise and East and West, I enjoy them all. What are my thoughts on the Fallout show? Well, this is coming from someone who's played Fallout some, not a ton. I'm not a huge Fallout person, but it felt very true to the universe. I felt like I disliked most of the characters. My three favorite characters were the main character and her brother, and I liked the ghoul. And everybody else I felt I didn't like, and that includes the main character who was from the Brotherhood. I just didn't care for his character much at all. Oh, you know what? I like that kid who helped him. The one. Anyway, yeah. So his squire. I like that kid. I was trying to figure out where I saw him before, but he was like I was looking up a lot of the characters to see where I'd seen him before. Anyhow, it was enjoyable. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was fine. What would be one place you'd like to visit again in Korea? I don't have any single place. I would like to visit lots of places in Korea. Since getting the Dice Tower van, how much has it been getting used so far? Any fun trips? Well, I mean, We use it to go up and back to Orlando to deliver stuff to Orlando. We use it around the area when we have a lot of stuff to take one place or the other. And we'll be continuing to do that. We have some ideas to use it in the future. We'll have to see. Are there any standout player characters in Agamonia that you recommend playing with? I don't know. We picked 3, and I've been enjoying playing with those 3, the ones that me and my kids are playing with. I haven't messed with the other characters, so I couldn't tell you if they're better or worse. My character is very slow, and that's driving me crazy, but he is very strong, too. Wish list for DC United. I have no wish list. Just give me some characters. Gameplay changes, I'm fine with the game as is. I'm sure they'll come up with some stuff. But, yeah, I'm happy with the DC United idea, and just being able to mix it easily is all I want. Would you prefer the roll and cut games be perforated rather than scissor cut? Oh, no. Ripping perforated stuff would be so time consuming, and you would mess it up at some point. How often do you update the Dice Tower logo? Once in a while. We're actually updating the Dice Tower seals this week. In fact, let me show you the new Dice Tower seal of approval. We'll be announcing this publicly later on. Let me find it for you real quick. I'm just going to show you all of our seals here. Actually, no, that won't work. Let me show you. This is the seal of approval. Has a seal of approval. And then the seal of excellence. There you go. Nice new seals. But also, if you want, for publishers, we're putting on a box. We have them in black that you could use, and we also have them where you can get them just without any color. Like if you just want sorry, they're so big. They don't fit on the screen. I wasn't planning to show them here. Like if you did sometimes some boxes, it might just look better with just that gold there like that. How many tables at the office do you have for playing games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a possibility of a 6th and 7th. New office tour soon? Maybe. I might wait till July after we get our new setup that we're going to do. How many campaign board games have you finished? Well, anyway, are your days only 24 hours long? You seem to have lots of time to watch stuff, read books, cook. Well, I mean, I just do a lot of stuff at the same time. Almost all my TV watching is watched while doing something else. When I cook, I listen to music, and I read every chance I can get. I'm currently reading through the Skyward series. It's been so long since I had read it that I started from the beginning. So I read the first 2 books. I'm now in the 3rd book. The 4th book's done, so it's nice to have a finished series coming. Who is the spinball master in the studio? I don't know. Chris or Mike, I guess. Is the Marvel United stuff in the library? You mean the new stuff? It's not out yet? No, but I mean, we have Marvel United in the library. Which board game convention do you recommend for people who've never been to one before? Well, the Cruise, for one. Or any of the Dice Tower ones. Any Dice Tower one, for sure. Will I be doing a review of the HeroScape content? I will 100% be doing a review of that. How did you come up with the name, with the Dice Tower name for your review channel? So our very first show that I did, when I was back writing reviews, I was just Tom Vasel writing reviews. Then when I started an audio show, I needed a name for it. So we thought for a while, and our first name, I think we just called it Podcast with Tom and Joe or whatever. And then Joe really wanted to make it War Games versus Euro Games. That was his dream for the show, which I'm really glad we got off that. But so we came up with Panzers and Pieces. That was his idea. We called it that, and our editor at the time, Rick Thornk, was like, guys, it's a terrible name. It just sounds like a war game podcast. It's not. And we're like, yeah. So I don't know. I think I put out a thread on Board Game Geek asking for names, and I just couldn't think of any. And then I thought someone said something, and I thought of a Dice Tower, and I was like, Dice Tower. I like Dice Towers, and Dice Tower is also an audio thing. Wow, that works. Let's use it. It's an audio. Our initial logo showed the Dice Tower with the flag or the doo, doo, doo. So there's a lot of names I have crowd sourced over the years, but the Dice Tower name itself was one I came up with. Not that it's that brilliant of a name, but I liked it, and we've never looked back. Is the studio open to the public? Will be near Orlando later this week and next week. Well, A, if you email me, it's possible to come by the studio, depending on time and things that are happening. But B, we're 4 hours away from Orlando. People forget sometimes how far Florida is. The Skyward Legacy book written by Jancy takes place after... I don't know what any of that means. I don't know who Jancy is, or I thought book 4 would finish the thing. Huh. Where do you get the hats from? I get them from all over the place. This particular hat doesn't even have a name in it. Where did I get this hat? Is there a brand? Huh. This is one of my older hats. The tag fell out, and it's not branded, so I don't even know what kind of hat it is. I've had this hat for a long time. Bailey's is a good place. Are you guys going to cover Hard Rock 1977 and Invincible? Well, when they come out, sure. Jancy wrote the in-between books. Oh, I didn't read that. So, there you go. All right. Let's see. Did I catch up on all the questions? I did catch up on all the questions. All right. I'll have to make up my own questions here. So what's coming out this week? Well, we have our regular shows are going to be going up. Later today, we'll be doing a We'll Play It Live with Mike in it, because Mike's still here for a couple days. Crowd surfing on Wednesday, Thursday, Smorgasbord, and our role-playing game, the 4 Coins. And then, like I said, all the different playthroughs of the games we did last week are going to be repackaged and posted on the channel this week. I wonder if CMON will do the same on GameFound as it on Kickstarter with DC United and all-in pledge almost at the end of the campaign. I would imagine it's worked really well for them. Do you have a green thumb? I would not say so. I do not particularly am good at growing plants or anything. My wife has a black thumb. She's really good at killing stuff. Do you have the top 10 book nearby? The top 10 book is around, but I now save it for my top 3s that we do on our Board Game Smorgasbord show. How do you keep your hats clean? I don't do a very good job of it, but if they do get dirty, I send them to a cleaner to get them cleaned. Tom, did you get to try the pastries I gave you in Dice Tower West? I'm going to go with yes, because I ate everything I got at Dice Tower West. What video games are the kids really enjoying at the moment? I honestly don't remember what the name of the one my daughter is playing is called, so I don't know what she's playing. My other daughter barely plays video games. They play the new Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom. My son is back. He was playing Tears of the Kingdom, but now he's back playing Super Mario RPG. Do you have a personal collection of games anymore? I have a few games, just a very few, like less than 5. And then for my kids and me to play like party games, we have like 10 or 15 of those. Any ideas for new shows, content you're excited about trying? Yes. How did you find time to play games with an infant in the house? We just did. I'm always, maybe I've just been very fortunate with our kids, but they are not like, you just put the infant, if the infant, you put them in a playpen and they're playing in the playpen, and then you can play a game, or you hold them, or whatever. You put them in an area where they can play. I mean, you don't have to hold the baby 24 hours a day. So we were able to play games very easily. The baby's sleeping. Let's play a game now. Let's do this. It just seemed like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still busyness. And I'm not saying an infant doesn't add a lot to your life. I just always, when people are like, I have no time. It's like, well, you do. The baby does sleep. We also trained our kids, all of our kids slept through the night after 2 months. We just were we did the same thing. We fed them every 3-4 hours, whatever it was at that point in time. And then we put them down at night, and we wouldn't feed them until they woke up. And as time went by, they just woke up less. If they just cried for no reason, we ignored it. And yeah, it worked. They all slept through the night very quickly. Did you think you would ever want to count up how many hours, days of content the Dice Tower has made? I think actually if I look on YouTube, it might give me that stat. Let me look through my analytics and see. I don't know if that's there or not. Lifetime. We've had a 340.5 million views. And they also didn't used to keep track of time, so there would be that too. We have 4 videos that are over 1 million views. That's nice. We have then another 3 videos that are over 500,000. And then after that, it drops considerably. Videos that are over 100,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Or 50. Sorry, 50. So we have 49 that are over 250,000. So that's cool. And then, but then you look at the amount of time that's watched. If I look at a video that's watched longer than other videos, the highest one I can see here is one of our top 10 games of all time. That's watched on average at 32 minutes when someone watches it. So that's cool. Sorry, I'm being I'm getting too much into the weeds here. But yes. What's the best thing to get at Robert is here? A key lime milkshake, but get it mixed with something else. Like key lime cherry has a good combo for me. What are my top 5 most commonly used phone apps, excluding games? Well, even if I included games, they wouldn't be in the top 5. Number 1 is Kindle, for sure. And my Bible app, which the Bible app that I use is called Blue Letter Bible. So those are my top 2. After that, Gmail, I use a ton. And well, I guess I could pull it up here. Spotify, Google Drive. Oh, podcasts. Whew, I use podcasts a lot. Facebook, Messages, Chrome, SoundHound. I don't use SoundHound that much, but when I hear a song I want to get done. Chase. Reddit. YouTube. My camera. I use my camera a lot. These, I don't know. Board Game Geek. Yeah, that's pretty much what I use it for. All right. Have you read the Gormenghast series, written in the 40s and 50s about a huge sprawling castle and the people who live inside and never leave? Gormenghast. All right, let me pull that up here. So, Gormenghast. There's a TV series for it? Huh. It was written in 46 to 56. It's technically not fantasy. Interesting. It doesn't sound like it's a fascinating series, though. Wow, there's a ton here on Wikipedia about it. And there was a PBS series about it with John Rhys Meyers. Huh. Okay. Well, no, I've not. I don't know if I want to, though. Did you enjoy your playthrough of Primal The Awakening? Well, I did have a good playthrough of that. We will be reviewing that at some point soon. My son should play Metroid Dread. I don't think he would like that. He doesn't want to play a dark game. He likes light, fun games. Who all is joining you? Oh, excuse me. In Fort Myers in 12 days. Don't know. I don't know who is joining us. Oh, you mean from the Dice Tower? I don't know. Me and Joey are going to be there. I don't know who else from the Dice Tower will be there, but me and Joey will be there. Do I think Star Wars Unlimited will hold up and be a mainstay in a trading card world? For at least a couple of years. Beyond that, I don't know. Does playing... This question gets asked all the time, but I'll answer it. Does playing games as your job ever diminish from your ability to just have fun gaming versus having to assess a game? Can you switch between gamer and reviewer brains easily? I don't know. It's all the same to me. I'm always reviewing a game, but I review everything. I go to a restaurant. I review that restaurant in my head. But I also can have fun playing a game. I love playing games. I don't have to review them all the time. They're just fun to play. What games do you like to play on Board Game Arena? I don't. My favorite Ghibli movie is Spirited Away. Have seen A Boy and the Heron? I think maybe, I don't know, actually. So I don't have a take on it since I can't remember. Is the Dice Tower the only board game YouTube channel that has a separate location for its studio rather than a room in someone's house? No, Becca Scott's channel does. I'm sure there's other ones that do too. You've mentioned project that fell through or wouldn't work at the time with the channel. Is there one that sticks out that you wish you could have become more of a rowdy? Well, sure, but I don't really want to dwell on that stuff too much. What's the best actual food you've had at a board game cafe? I remember having really good Brussels sprout something or other up at the game cafe in Canada, but actually, Sorry, I don't know why. Snakes and lattes. I don't know why their name was escaping me. But the best I ever had, hands down, was the mac and cheese from Mac and Chess here in Miami. Unfortunately, I've not been able to go up there much. It was like an hour plus away from me to get there, so I just almost never went there. It was a very small little game cafe. But their mac and cheese was phenomenal. Do you know what the ratio of Dice Tower seals of approval to non-approvals there is? Oh yeah, it's probably like 0.00000000000000001%. But I'm assuming you mean about board games only. But even then, it'd be very, very tiny percentage. Because, I mean, of the thousands of games that come out of a year, we don't give out that many seals. But I don't know. I can tell you what my ratio is. So let's take a look here. And I'm being silly, but you're gonna ask me essentially, what's my ratio from games that I play for review purposes. So I keep a list of games played and that I haven't even reviewed yet, but new games from 2024. So far in 2024, I have played 59 games. So I would give a seal approval to 34 of those, which is more than half actually. So that's pretty good. Now, I'm still playing a lot of games from before. So I have a big long list of games to review. And if I add in some of the games I played from 2023, that brings it out to higher. So yeah, but it's pretty good though. But again, there's a lot of games I look at and go, that's trash. I'm not going to play it. I don't have to play it. It doesn't look fun at all. What's that poster behind you? It's a metallic poster. I think it means the Omni Gamer. I think. I don't remember what it means. Have you ever listened to the Haunted Cosmos podcast? I have never heard of it. The Haunted Cosmos podcast. Haunted Cosmos podcast. So what is it? Investigating a world that isn't just stuff. What? That doesn't tell me anything about it. Who are the watchers? Well, okay. I don't know. I still haven't learned anything from their website. How did different folks join a Dice Tower? Formally applying for a job? Yes. Being friends? Yes. Friends of friends? Yes. Random chance? Yes. That's just how it happened. I mean, right now I'm in the process of looking for a position, and it's a formal application process for we're getting a new marketing manager / assistant for me / producer. You know, kind of a catch-in. Well, I mean, most of the jobs at Dice Tower are catch-alls. But that's actually a formal application process. Anyone from the Dice Tower going to BGG Spring? Why, yes, indeed. Me and Roy will be at Board Game Geek Spring. Never been there before, so looking very much forward to it. I have no agenda or plan, so if you're there, good chance we'll play a game together, if you want. Is anyone from the Dice Tower going to Origins? I do not think so. The White Castle didn't seem to get much love from the Dice Tower besides the Yees. Okay, well, let me pull that up here. White Castle. I gave it an 8. What are you talking about? I gave it an 8. That's like love itself. I liked White Castle. I like a lot of De Vere games, and then there's a lot that I don't like as much. Is there any game that you dominate Rod at? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I was recently gifted Star Wars Imperial Assault. I watched your video from many years ago, and you spoke very highly of it at times, said it might even make top 100. Yeah, I really did like it. I liked the tactical game in it better, although that tactical game's been replaced by other tactical games. I just never got back into it. I love the concept of it. I like the idea of having Star Wars, dungeon crawler. It just, I don't have a good reason why that one never really took off for me. Some games have blank cards to create your own. Have you ever tried that? I try to not do that almost always. I don't know why. It just bothers me when you flip a card over and someone wrote it up. What am I looking for in the Post-it producer job? Well, I posted it online. You have to find it on Dice Tower. I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but there's just a whole pile of stuff. If you're interested, you can always email me at tom@dicetower.com. You are slightly behind the curveball, though, because there's a lot of other people I'm already talking to. Top 10s of the year. Well, yeah, I didn't put White Castle in my top 10 of the year because I just liked other games better. There's a lot of fun games that come out every year. It is funny because, again, I talk about me keeping track. I have track of my top 20 games of 2024. So, like, for example, I said I played 59 games this year so far. And that's probably not true. There's probably another one I played that I forgot to put in here. But I rank them. And now, so then I have my top 20. So at the end of the year, I'll be able to put together my top 10 very easily. But like number 20, well, that doesn't count because that's a reprint. Number 20 right now is Snow Planner, which is a game that I reviewed with Mike and Chris. And I enjoyed it fine, but there's no way it's going to be 20 by the end of the year. There's just so many different games to play. I rank all my games that I played. If you ever wonder what I think about a game, you go look on Board Game Geek, and if there's a rating for it, that means I played it, and that's my rating for it. Now, that rating could change, but I'm pretty up to date on those ratings because I put them down as soon as I play a game. When you make your top 100, is it an ever-evolving list, or do you sit down for 3 hours and start listing them? It takes me about that much time. I think I do it over the course of 2 days. Is there any more room for artists or illustrators? Well, we don't have any artists or illustrators working for me now. I just pay piecemeal to Tina, who does all of our art. I don't have the budget for more than that, really. We don't have a ton of money here at the Dice Tower. People might think we do, but I have to stretch it out as much as I can. Someone else opened the can. So I got to ask, what's up with the Lacerda games not getting any love? Well, again, Chris and Wendy, they're just not my style of games. Chris and Wendy like some of them. Chris likes On Mars a lot. I know he likes it. He plays it, enjoys it, but doesn't like all of them. So that's that. Anyone know if Lindsay is leaving or something? Yes, Lindsay is moving on. And so the part is replacing what she's doing. Hey, I think I've caught up on questions again. I got time for like 1 or 2 more questions before we end today's thing. And I just realized I don't have the ending video. So come back later today. What we'll do, we'll play it live. We're going to be recording reviews and doing various things this week. I have a lot of things I got to get finished and done, and that includes a lot of emails and things like that. But we'll be working hard on it, and I hope that you enjoy the things that you see this week. What's your favorite way to randomly choose a starting player? Oh, I will ask a question randomly. I'll just be like, huh? And someone will go, what? I'm like, you're first. I don't know. Stupid stuff like that. I don't know. It amuses me. All right, folks. Well, I do appreciate you stopping by for another Q&A. Check out the Dice Tower. Check out Dice Tower Encore, our sister channel. We will be launching the backer kit very soon for our Dice Tower Kickstarter. It's a huge amount of work behind the scenes to put that backer kit together. But Kenny is at work at it. He is almost done, so I would venture that you'll see it very soon. Anyway, this is going to be like a very abrupt finish here, so it could cut out any minute, even in the middle of a sentence. But Anyway, until next time, thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching The Dice Tower, and I hope that we can...